All right, hey, good afternoon, everyone. Riley Foster, Foster's Custom Steel. We're back at the Delta scroll saw. I got this thing fixed. It had several problems, and it still has a few issues that I'm going to work through. I completely took it apart down underneath here, pulled both covers off, cleaned it out really good, and I found the issue was the terrible tapping noise was this bolt right here and this one, and I'll show you what they do shortly. I didn't know this until I started taking it apart. That bolt, someone left the washer and lock washer off of it when they put this back together how many years ago. That bolt goes down through the casing, and it was tapping the cam inside this casing. And when I show you what all came out of there, I took a rag and turned it into a mop on the end of a stiff wire and cleaned it out really good. So I had all of this out, completely taken apart. This was out, took the deck off, took this side cover off, pulled all this pulley housing, and the little compressor still works, which is cool. Took the cam out and went to cleaning, and boy, you saw the last video, I found that saw blade that was dropped down inside that blade tube. Wait till you see what I dug out of there. This is incredible. And then I'll let you hear this thing, how much better it runs. The brass bushings that are on the bottom of this tube runs all the way down through, and the cam goes around and lifts it up and down. So the brass fittings are worn on top and bottom, but I can still get many years service out of this saw now that I've got it cleaned up. And I'm going to show you right quick. First of all, if I loosen this knob, this deck rotates side to side, and that gives me any kind of miter cut that I need. And what's really odd is, and I did not know this, straighten that deck right quick. I did not know this until I got to taking it apart. If I loosen this bolt here, I come over here and loosen this bolt right here, I was really shocked that this does this. Look at that. That whole deck turns so you can run a scroll. You can turn the blade running that deck at different angles and in different directions, which is pretty crazy. I did not know it did that. So what I took out of that, and as you can see, I did not replace that switch yet or the cable. I just wanted to make sure it was running, and I wasn't putting too many hours or time in it for it to be just dead. So I filled up the little oilers on the motor. When I cleaned that out real good, and I mean I mopped it out, I poured paint thinner in there and slooshed it around and cleaned it out real good. Filled it full of motor oil, so the reservoir is nice and full. Whoever had done this before, they did not have that pulley locked on that slot. So I aligned the belt and locked that on there. And I'm going to get some blades for it, and I'm going to use them. I bought some blades, and they're just too daggone small for what I want. But when I cleaned this out, that's some of the nasty that came out of it. And I know there's no metal on metal in there except where that bolt was hitting that cam. And that very well could have been the issue. But look at this. That is all saw blades. There's two pieces of aluminum here and here. They're ears. I did not find where they went. I did not find a broke off part in there. Now this little wire was holding that hose on. That doesn't mean anything. I cut the hose short and slid it back on there for the air. But I have no idea where those little aluminum tabs broke off from. It does not appear to affect the saw. Now the last video I did, you could hear this thing tapping. I mean, it was, well, metal on metal. Listen to it now. Isn't that nice? That sounds a whole lot better. Now, one of the problems I do have, and I am a good enough machinist to fix it. And I'll show you. Doesn't that sound good? So I am a good enough machinist to fix this. You can see those little pinch blocks in there. Well, they work great, but the problem is the pinch block up underneath this shoe is missing. However many years ago, I don't know, but what they were doing was they was tightening, oh, excuse me, it's here that it's missing. So what they were doing is they were tightening this wing nut up on the blade, and that pinch block was gone. That's why they kept slipping blades, snapping them, and going down in that tube. So, I think this is a good tool. I think I did good. I believe I paid between $80 and $100. I wanted a good cast iron solid saw. I don't particularly care for the base, but once I get it attached to something, yeah, it'll work fine. Guys, how about reaching down there? If you've got this kind of saw, check on that bolt sticking down in that cam, because there's where all that tap was coming from. This is a good saw. This was a good buy. Remember to like, share, and comment. If you know somebody that has this saw, pass on this information. Remember, guys, always give thanks and have a great day.